Hello, my name is Dana Castellano. Thank you for tuning into my presentation for interpreting meteorological and oceanographic data to provide optimal and safe ship routing. A little bit about me. Again, my name is Dana. I'm a senior marine router. I began in FleetWeather in the land forecasting department in July of 2008, and then I transferred to the marine forecasting department in July of 2012. So I have about 14 years of experience. I'm also a fellow and registered meteorologist with the Royal Meteorological Society. A little bit about the company. FleetWeather, founded in 1969, was a group of meteorologists that provide marine forecast and routing to vessels. Stratum 5, founded in 2009, provides critical ship tracking, SSAS, which is ship security alert systems, and cost-effective voyage monitoring solutions. And in 2018, FleetWeather was acquired by Stratum 5. And the product that we use, or the program that we use, is Podium, and it's a really great tool for optimizing routing. All data, including weather, oceanographic information, ship data, and so on and so forth, is combined for the end user in one place. So a little bit more in depth about the FleetWeather Operations Center now. We have about 50 years of operational experience, and that is 460 combined years of METOPS professional experience, and 100% of our meteorologists are RMET certified. And here's some of the services that we provide. Weather routing, pre-voyage briefs, daily en route forecasts, warning, charter party compliance, and claims. So at the top of our product, we have the weather routing aspect, where at any voyage or any vessel, we're continuously monitoring the weather for these vessels, the patterns, the tropical cyclones, mid-latitude cyclones, and we're keeping the vessels on their most optimal route at any given time. So besides models and ensembles, which meteorologists are so familiar with, these are a few of the other things that we provide, or that we're looking at daily rather, to kind of get a bigger picture of the weather on any given day. We have satellite-based ocean measurements such as scatterometer data products, in this example ASCAT, satellite imagery. We also refer to all 6 regional specialized meteorological centers, as well as the 6 tropical cyclone warning centers for advisories on tropical systems. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, we keep vessels very aware of any icebergs and sea ice that they may encounter along their routes, and at times also routing vessels around these icebergs and sea ice. And then we make sure that we're checking all the official government monitoring agencies that report icebergs and sea ice. So our first opportunity for route optimization is a few days before a vessel's ETA, and we call it a pre-voyage brief. And this determines the most economical or fastest route on any given voyage, while also keeping the vessel's safety the first priority here. We use regional and global models, climate data, vessel specifications to determine the best route. And here is an example of how we optimize this particular vessel's route using a pre-voyage brief. A Suezmax tanker had an upcoming voyage from Rotterdam to Galveston in mid-February, and at the time of the voyage there was a very active winter gale and storm track that was in place over the North Atlantic. The master came in with the pink route that you can see here, and this is a direct Great Circle route from the English Channel to Florida Straits. And while this is the shortest option, it also exposed vessel to very persistent adverse weather conditions and the adverse Gulf Stream current, but it did keep vessel out of the emissions control area, as you can see here, labeled ECA. So we've analyzed the forecasted conditions, and we provided a couple of alternate routing options. The first one that we have here in green is a Rumline route to the Northeast Providence Channel. This was 243 nautical miles shorter and saved 40.3 hours. And then this brown route, which is the route that we ended up going with, goes south of the Azores here. And this saved 379 nautical miles and 54.3 hours. So this is just a snapshot of the weather pattern at the time, and then you can see also the routes that are overlaid with the significant wave height in both images here. And so here's the end result from our optimization. Our FleetWeather's recommended route, which was via south of the Azores, provided over 9% savings as compared to the master's intentions, which was a more direct route. And based on the vessel hire and fuel rates at the time of the voyage, this equated to over $120,000 in savings. Optimizing currents during a voyage is also a very important part of routing and optimizing a route. Here you can see in this image that this route saved over 18.8 hours of savings, but by just providing the vessel with a current assist. And this also saved over 189 metric tons of CO2 emissions. And the total cost savings in this situation by just utilizing a current assist was $60,000. So after the pre-voyage brief, we also provide a daily en route forecast every day of the vessel's voyage. It's tailored for positions along their optimal route. It gives 7 days of forecast reach, which include wind, visibility, waves, currents, air temperature, and sea temperature. And we also include sea keeping warnings on each day's forecast. Next, we have warnings. As you can see down here in this graph, we have 7 days worth of warnings, color-coded based on the severity of the warning. You can't see it in this particular image, but we also include current impact row, which highlights an adverse current of more than 1 knot. So sea keeping warnings include reduced intact stability, synchronous rolling, and parametric rolling. And this is imperative for SOLAS, which is safety of lives at sea. Next, we have charter party compliance. We're constantly monitoring and tracking the ship's progress, performance, and consumption in relation to the CP terms. We also provide post-voyage CP performance and consumption reports and a secure online access to current and past CP data. We also provide claims in the end of voyage reports, supporting your position adhering to English law. We provide expert claims analysis, voyage reconstruction, rebuttal guidance, and we also use standard London arbitration awards and case law as the foundation for our methodology. So in the end, sometimes there's only so much a computer can conceptualize, and this is where the human aspect is so important to optimizing a route. So a marine router puts their time and effort into the ships that need it near tropical systems, simply shortening a vessel's route and leaving the machine to take care of vessels in more benign weather. And now the bigger picture. Podium ties all of this together in one platform for us to easily make sure a vessel is on the best route. It is a voyage informatics platform where all data for weather, positions, fuel, emissions, and anything else can be viewed together and synthesized into visuals for a client's needs and purposes. Our next challenge for optimizing a route will be within emissions monitoring and reduction. The IMO in 2023 is going to be regulating vessel efficiency and emissions, and this goes into effect January 1st, 2023. And their goal is to reduce CO2 emissions 40% decrease by 2030, 70% by 2050, and this is all compared to the 2008 levels. And various indices will be used to monitor vessels' efficiency and emissions. As you can see down here below in this graph, this shows a multi-vessel line graph to monitor the Energy Efficiency Operational Indicator, or the EEOI, for a fleet over time. Optimization can apply to various aspects of a voyage. One being route optimization, which our marine routers play a key role in with our route and speed recommendations, and we take into account weather and current conditions, which I explained a little bit more in depth earlier. And another is speed and consumption optimization. We can monitor with speed and consumption curves to visualize the efficiency of a vessel at various speeds, and also compare a group of vessels to identify either strong or poor performers. Another aspect of optimization is trim optimization. We can potentially save up to 5 to 7% of fuel if implemented correctly. Trim optimization has to do with the floating position of a ship lengthwise, how far submerged it is in the bow or aft of a ship, in the water, and how does that affect the efficiency of the vessel. Now, with supply chain issues and fuel prices at an all-time high, and within the news that we've all been so centered on in the last couple of years, it's reasonable to begin to think about alternative technologies to propel ships from port to port, such as Flettner rotors or towing kites. But with these alternative tech vessels, they require a vessel to be in max assisting conditions, and this would require an even closer review of a forecast or route optimization of a voyage. And this is best coming from a human viewing and creating a forecast. Finally, I just want to tie everything together. In 2020, the IMO's focus was to lessen sulfur emissions, and now in 2023, their focus is to lessen carbon or CO2 emissions. Optimizing a vessel's route in all the ways that we explained earlier in the presentation, such as proper routing, properly using observational data to verify a forecast or a model initialization, optimizing trim, utilizing alternative technologies will all assist in the bottom line of lessening carbon output. My name is Dana. Thank you again for listening to my presentation on interpreting meteorological and oceanographic data to provide optimal and safe ship routing. Stay connected and stay safe.